Hi everybody, welcome back. Glad you could tune in again. I want to take a quick look with you at 2nd and 3rd John. It's convenient to look at these two letters together, both because they're really quite short, as you'll know, and also because they are related to each other thematically, in that they look at a similar subject but from different angles. To summarise, you could say that 2nd John is a letter urging the church not to welcome those false teachers who don't abide in Christ. Whereas 3rd John is an exhortation to the church that they should welcome those who are true brothers, even if the false teachers, so-called, and rightly so-called, have excluded them. To put it another way, 2nd John is don't welcome the wrong people, and 3rd John is do welcome the right people. Let me show you how briefly the two letters pick up those themes, and then I'll leave you to explore it in a bit more detail. First, in 2nd John, verse 9, everyone who goes on ahead and does not abide in the teaching of Christ does not have God. Whoever abides in the teaching has both the Father and the Son. So they're the two alternatives. You either abide in Christ and his teaching, or you don't abide in his teaching. Verse 10, if anyone comes to you and doesn't bring this teaching, so we're not just talking about a believer here, we're talking about somebody who purports to teach. If anyone comes to you and doesn't bring this teaching, they're bringing some other teaching, I think the implication is there. Do not receive him into your house or give him any greeting, for whoever greets him takes part in his wicked works. Notice this is similar to what's said in Titus, where, although in a very different tone and a very different style, where Titus places the emphasis actually on the members of the congregation themselves to take responsibility for what they're listening to. Here, John, writing to the elect lady in verse 1, which is a reference almost certainly to a church rather than an individual, says, you're responsible for not welcoming false teaching when it comes. It's not just the job of the elders to sieve out and filter out and denounce and describe the false teaching to you. You have to take responsibility for not welcoming such people and such ideas. The flip side of that, of course, in 3rd John, is that if there are faithful teachers whom those false teachers have sought to exclude, then you shouldn't exclude them too. You should take a stand to welcome anybody whom Christ has welcomed, even if that entails some personal cost. So, for example, 3 John verse 9, I've written something to the church, but Diotrephes, who likes to put himself first, does not acknowledge our authority. Diotrephes is in the focus here as a false teacher who presumably John has had some previous dealings with. So if I come, I'll bring up what he's doing, talking wicked nonsense against us. There you are, you see, he's had some encounter before. And not content with that, he refuses to welcome the brothers and also stops those who want to welcome them and puts them out of the church. You see, it's a denunciation of Diotrephes' refusal to welcome those who are one with John in his teaching. And so you can see how these two letters work together. It's vitally important that we welcome the right people. We want to welcome everybody, but with the exception, 2nd John, of false teachers who go about deliberately trying to distort the truth. We have a responsibility to exclude such people and not to pay attention to them if they've set their minds and their hearts against the gospel of Christ. Flip side of that, of course, is that we're called to welcome people even if they have been excluded by others, even at some personal cost. You can imagine the kind of situation that 3rd John may be anticipating, where Diotrephes is a somewhat popular teacher and he's put out these people from the church, and John is writing, in this case, to his friend the beloved Gaius, but by implication to others as well, saying you must welcome them because they speak the truth even if others don't. Well, I hope that's helpful. I encourage you to get into those two short letters. There's a lot more in there than that, but that'll be enough to start off with, I hope. The Lord bless you, and bye for now.